So, can Jaden Daniels be a very dangerous quarterback? Was this past Sunday night a bad game or a bad sign for the Steelers? And with the Jets, the question I guess is, what now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to see if we can try to find answers to those questions and a lot more as we get you set for week 6 in the NFL and in fantasy football action. We got it all covered for you as always right here on Fantasy Football Fever, which starts right about now. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Fantasy Football Fever. It is Tuesday night, October 8th, 2024. Wherever, whenever, and however you're watching, thanks for making this part of your week. My name is Timothy McClelland. Joining me, as always, my two great partners in crime. First, the host of the Hooked on Sports podcast, walking the streets of the Empire State once again, our good friend, Mr. John Flynn.
Hey, how's it going, Timmy? I'm back after missing last week.
Yeah, great to have you back, brother. You're okay now. You're back in form, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm back in form, and but I'm happy to be back on a regular schedule. So
Yeah.
I just got out of work, so.
Oh, okay. Heading on back to the homestead is our friend, Mr. Flynn. And, of course, joining us as always, our Fantasy League Commissioner, Mr. John Natale, with a very unusual background.
Yeah, why not? I think I'll give it a try. We have a football show, so why not try out a football background?
Yeah, but like you already have a football background on the screen there, so I don't know why. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, to each his own, I guess.
Yeah.
And we have someone that wants to say hello to us. We can get his message up here. Yo, Daniel Barry. Good to have you here, Daniel. Great to have you here with us again. Be sure to spread the word. Spread the word on our show. Let's get our viewership up. And by the way, Flynn, I kind of did you a little bit of a favor right before you got on the show here.
Oh.
I made up this little message, kind of spread the word about Hooked on Sports.
Yes, absolutely. I dropped my latest edition this morning. I recorded it. I made sure I started recording after all the action last night in baseball and football, after the Chiefs beat the Saints last night. So I'm over the big storylines that I took away from week 5 in the NFL. We'll get to a couple of big ones that developed earlier today that weren't included in the podcast later, but I covered that. I covered Major League Baseball. The playoffs have been unbelievable so far. I mean, and for the first time, the Mets in a while, the Mets actually had a routine victory today. They beat the Phillies, and there's a likelihood that I will be going to the game tomorrow night. A chance for the Mets to clinch and go move on to the NLCS to play either the Padres or the Dodgers. I got into the Knicks getting Corey Anthony Towns. I got into my official NHL predictions for the upcoming season. So a lot of good stuff in sports. So, and also the zaniness of college football too. Can't forget about that. So
All right, y'all make sure, like the message says, listen to Hooked on Sports with John Flynn over on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and many other platforms. I think we can find him on TuneIn. That's where I find him every week. So, with that being said, why don't we get started with go ahead and see if I can go ahead and share this screen here. We're going to go back and take a look at the action from the NFL last week. Had some very interesting that's a screen here. Let's go ahead and do that. See if we can.
yeah, and also while you're getting that up, never mind, you got it up.
Yeah. So we begin with last Thursday's matchup. Atlanta had to go into overtime to beat Tampa Bay 36-30. First, Kirk Cousins 509 yards passing. Rashad White with 72 yards rushing. Drake London had a big day with 154 receiving yards. Wow, that was I kind of watched the end of that one, and I was kind of happy for Atlanta.
Yeah, and also Darnell Mooney had a monster day as well, and I was a little pissed because I left Darnell Mooney on my bench in one of my other leagues, but I digress. But I love what Atlanta did, and I think the best part about it is I think Kirk Cousins can go to the next level with this, and how about the zaniness of the fourth quarter, the drive, the spike, and the Young Wei Koo field goal to send the game into overtime. So that was tremendous. Also to note that Chase McLaughlin gave me 16 points in fantasy in one of my other leagues. He kicked 3 field goals and 3 extra points.
Uh-huh. Very interesting right there. We had going into the Sunday game the first London game of the season, and it was the Minnesota Vikings over the New York Jets 23-17. Aaron Rodgers led the passing with 244 passing yards. Ty Chandler had 30 yards on the ground, while Garrett Wilson had a $101 in receiving yards. And Aaron Rodgers, congratulations to him. He became the 9th quarterback in NFL history to pass for over 60,000 career yards.
Yeah, and guess what? Nobody's even talking about that, Timmy, because he threw 3 interceptions including the pick 6, and it cost his head coach's job. So we'll get into the Saleh firing in a little bit, but the Vikings defense has just been tremendous. They've been one of the best in all of football, and it shows in the fantasy statistics with all they were able to do, and I think that was the real story of the game, and you have to wonder what's like with Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson through 5 weeks is ranked number 16 at wide receiver through the first 5 weeks in PPR leagues. So and you also got to be a little worried about Breece Hall too, because if they're not running the ball effectively and they're not going to be able to stay on the field, and if you can't stay on the field, you won't be able to get that many touches. So there is a little concern right now with Breece Hall owners.
Yeah, Breece Hall came into this season with some good expectations after the great season he had last year.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and also there are some smart people that were thinking about drafting Breece Hall #1 overall, because of the concerns that they had with Christian McCaffrey, which concerns became reality.
Oh yeah.
So it's been rough sledding for Breece Hall so far this season.
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to look any better, and I know it's probably not going to look any better for the Carolina Panthers. Last week, they got shellacked by the Chicago Bears 36-10 behind 304 passing yards from Caleb Williams. Chuba Hubbard for the Panthers rushed for 97, and DJ Moore for the Bears got himself receiving yards of $105.
Yeah, I mean, Chuba Hubbard was probably the only bright spot for Carolina because Chuba Hubbard also had a 43-yard rushing touchdown. So I think he wound up scoring like about 15 to 20 points last week. So
guess not much more to say about that one. Very interesting right here. Somehow I knew that this was going to be a high-scoring game last week, but Baltimore had to have an overtime period to defeat the Cincinnati Bengals 41-38. Joe Burrow, man, 392 passing yards. Derrick Henry running for 92. Jamar Chase, 193 receiving yards. That was a very great game all the way through.
yeah, I mean, Jamar Chase had 2 touchdown passes. T. Higgins had a couple of touchdowns. Chase Brown had a receiving touchdown. And then Derrick Henry was excellent as well. And Lamar Jackson, I mean, holy cow! So what is it now? But 3 weeks in a row, Lamar Jackson has lit up the scoreboard, and he's now the number one quarterback in fantasy through 5 weeks, and he threw for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he also ran for 50 yards as well. So that's a tremendous start for Lamar Jackson, and also a great way for Baltimore to respond after the 0-2 start. So that you figure the sky was falling on them because 0-2 teams don't often make the playoffs. But if I were to do a power ranking of AFC teams through 5 weeks, you got to think Kansas City number 1, Houston number 2, and Baltimore number 3. I mean, am I crazy to think that the Ravens are the 3rd best team in the AFC so far this season?
Makes sense.
No, I would concur. I could concur on that one.
I mean, who else makes that case?
All right.
Okay, Kansas City 1, and you said Houston number 2, Baltimore 3. Let's see if there's. Truthfully,
the only other one worth mentioning maybe is Buffalo. That's about it.
That's what I was thinking, maybe.
Yeah, and Buffalo didn't pass the eye test this week either.
No, they're not. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about one. The Texans defeated the Buffalo Bills 23-20 behind C.J. Stroud and his 331 passing yards. James Cook with 82 yards on the ground, and Stephon Diggs getting 82 yards in receiving.
Yeah, but also I think the big story with this game is that Nico Collins suffered an injury, and it is unlikely that he's going to be going for the Texans on Sunday against the Patriots. And Nico Collins came in as the number 1 receiver in the NFL for the first 4 weeks of the season, and he's been fantastic. And now the Texans losing him is going to be a very tough blow. They're probably not going to have Joe Mixon. They're probably not going to have with Nico Collins. So it's going to be a tall task for them going forward. But they get the Patriots coming up on Sunday. So should it be a lucky get to the schedule, or is it going to be a trap game with Drake May getting his first NFL start on Sunday for the Patriots?
I don't know. And once again, Flynn, you give us a good segue because the New England Patriots lost to the Miami Dolphins in a very low-scoring game, 15-10. Miami's backup Tyler Huntley passed for 194 yards. The Patriots' Ramondre Stevenson got 89 yards, and the Cheetah Tyreek Hill, kind of unusual low number for there, 69 receiving yards.
I mean, told you not to take the cheese on Tyreek Hill this season. I said because I was not high on it before the season. Now I'm even not. Now and the injury to Tua Tagovailoa definitely confirms what I was thinking. So
Yeah. And he just reached the droppable list. Prior to yesterday, he was on can't drop. Now he can be dropped.
wow. Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, Natale. So while we're talking about the rest of the games, can you pull up the undroppables list because I'm very interested in that while we're talking about the games.
I gotta see if I could find that. I gotta figure out how to access that. Give me 1 second here. Let me try to, because I'm a Tyreek Hill fantasy owner. That's how I noticed. Well, I know Lamar Jackson is on there. I know Justin Jefferson is on there. That I do know.
So, but also another note on the Dolphins Patriots game. The Patriots appear to have scored a go-ahead touchdown with a minute to go, with Jacoby Brissett throwing what appeared to be a touchdown pass to Jalen Polk, but by his left heel was out of bounds, and the Patriots rather having to run a 4th and 15 play, but they weren't able to get that, so which enabled the Dolphins to hold on and win that game. So that's a very tough loss for the Patriots, and it's really hard to feel good about the Miami Dolphins right now.
Uh-huh.
All right, I got it. You guys, all right, guys, you ready for the list?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
All right. The 3 quarterbacks, current undroppables, are Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
On the running back side, we have Saquon Barkley, Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan Robinson, Jonathan Taylor, and Alvin Kamara. And on the wide receiver side, we have Amon-Ra St. Brown, CeeDee Lamb, Nico Collins. Well, that could happen a couple weeks time. We'll see.
Yeah.
Jamar Chase, AJ Brown, and Justin Jefferson. I could say I'm the proud owner of 2 of those players.
A proud owner of Tyreek Hill after the first 5 weeks of the season.
Well, no, not now. I said the 2 players currently. I have both. I have Justin Jefferson and Lamar Jackson.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, pretty soon pretty soon you might have to add Derrick Henry to that list. So because he's the number 1 running back in fantasy through 4 weeks. So
right.
Yeah, running crazy over everybody there.
Yeah.
Over
maybe Jaden Daniels too. We'll see, but.
Well, you just mentioned Jaden Daniels' name. I was about to say the Washington Commanders defeated the Cleveland Browns 34-13. Jaden Daniels, oh my goodness, what a great game he is throwing in the first 5 weeks. Last week had 238 passing yards. He also ran for 82 yards, and Terry McLaurin had a $112. I gotta tell you, this Jaden Daniels, this kid is I think he's starting to catch fire.
I mean, it was clear. I mean, because Jaden Daniels' path to the Heisman at LSU revolved around his ability to throw the deep ball and his ability to scramble in the pocket and with his athleticism, and it was clear that Jaden Daniels was going to be a star in this league, and he was kind of overshadowed by all of the Caleb Williams hype, and Caleb Williams has been coming around. Last couple weeks, he had a fantastic game for Chicago on Sunday against Carolina, but what Jaden Daniels has done is simply remarkable. And listen, I told you not to sleep on Jaden Daniels. I mean, I had Jaden Daniels ranked higher on the quarterbacks list before the season than you two guys did. I just didn't think he was going to be this good.
Yeah, this kid, you could probably put him on a list of contenders for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah, most definitely, and we will you'll see the compare and contrast when we pull up the leaderboards for all the positions in a little bit.
Meanwhile, the Jacksonville Jaguars defeated the Indianapolis Colts in a close one, 37-34. Trevor Lawrence, 371 passing yards. Tank Bigsby with a $1 on the ground. And Alec Pierce had 134 receiving yards in that one. So once again, Jacksonville tops Indianapolis, even though this one was close.
I mean, Travis Etienne owners have to be fuming right now because Tank Bigsby looks like one of the better running backs in the league through the first few weeks, and of course Travis Etienne was a consensus choice to go in the first 25 picks in your drafts this year, and now he got benched because he couldn't hold on to the football. So I mean that's got a sting, but also Trevor Lawrence played his first good game of the season. He was throwing the ball. He was confidently finding his receivers. Brian Thomas Jr. has been awesome so far this season. So, I mean, Brian Thomas Jr. another big time LSU playmaker. So alongside Malik Neighbors, alongside Jaden Daniels, and all the others that have come around. So.
Yeah, so looks like Jacksonville's kind of pulling themselves out of the hole here. Another AFC matchup here. The Denver Broncos defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 34-18. Kind of surprised me there, especially with Bo Nix passing for 206 yards. Javonte Williams getting 61 yards on the ground. And this young tight end, Brock Bowers, got 97 yards receiving.
First career touchdown, too.
Yeah. I am unhappy I did not draft Brock Bowers because you knew the signs were there. I was a little upset that I didn't wait to draft him, but I digress.
Yeah, so looks like Brock Bowers is one of those tight ends that you might keep an eye on, especially if he's still available in your fantasy leagues. But if he would be available, just take him right there because he's warming up pretty soon.
I was shocked that I got him. I got him in, I think, round 10.
Yeah, I mean, Brock Bowers was gonna go on that because you didn't know about the quarterback and like if the quarterback was going to hold the team back, but Brock Bowers has proven so that he is quarterback proof when it comes to his production, similar to what we thought the first 3 weeks of the season with Malik Neighbors, because we weren't sure about Daniel Jones, but he's been coming around recently with his play. But hey, Bo Nix is 3-2, Caleb Williams is 3-2, and Jaden Daniels is 4-1. So rookie quarterbacks in the first round that have started this season, their combined record is 10 wins and 5 losses.
Not a bad start for those guys. Here's one of the shockers from this past week. Arizona Cardinals just slide by the 49ers 24-23, despite the fact that Brock Purdy led in the passing with 244 yards. Jordan Mason got 89 rushing yards, and Brandon Ayuk had 147 receiving yards, but somehow the Cardinals were able to hold on.
But I mean, this was a mistake-filled game by the 49ers. They made too many mistakes. They kept the Cardinals in the game and allowed the Cardinals to pounce on their opportunities. So, but Kyler Murray had another strong day. I think he had a couple of touchdown passes as well. So,
yeah. So Arizona just gets by them, and we had Green Bay heading to Los Angeles. They took down the Rams by a score of 24-19. Leaderboard, Matthew Stafford had 260 passing yards. Kyron Williams with $102. He kind of picked it back up a little bit this week, 102
Yeah,
yards rushing, and Jordan Whittington with 89 receiving yards in this one.
I was so pissed when Whittington. No, I mean, and also Demarcus Robinson caught it. I believe it was him that caught a touchdown. But in my other league, I mean, with the bet because all of us ended at the 4 o'clock slate because we didn't have any Sunday night or Monday night guys going, neither team. But in the last 3 minutes. So, my opponent got touchdowns from Jaleel McLaughlin and Demarcus Robinson, and I lost by 4.
Ooh.
Oh,
I mean, and you think that every game counts for seeding and potential first round buys. That I was not happy about that at all. Is Tim still there?
He's muted briefly. There he is.
accidentally muted my mic. Yeah, I would be pretty angry if I lost my matchup by 4 points.
And in the way I did so, but
Oh yeah. Here's a kind of a shocker. The Giants somehow beat the Seahawks 29-20.
Oh, great game.
Geno Smith with 284 passing yards. Tyrone Tracy Jr. with 129 rushing yards. Darius Slayton with 122 receiving yards. So, guys, your boys did something to those Seahawks.
yeah, I mean, talk about it, Natale.
Yeah. All I got to say is, move over Devin Singletary. There is a new running back 1 in the house.
Well, I think you got to curb your enthusiasm on that tape because when Singletary is healthy, he's going to be your RB1. But this is part of what Joe Shane and Brian David wanted to see when it comes to the culture, and I'm pretty pleased with how this roster has progressed from the start of the season to now. They look better and better each week, and Tyrone Tracy is actually the first rookie running back to run for 100 yards this season. So if you have that on your bingo card, congratulations. And Darius Slayton, 8 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown. And Wan'Dale Robinson also has a touchdown as well. So Wan'Dale Robinson has been more of a play recently, and so Wan'Dale Robinson owners were rewarded, and for the few people that started Darius Slayton, they were rewarded as well. So,
and Theo Johnson's looking better.
I mean, what did we say about Theo Johnson a couple of weeks ago when we looked at the target shares with and the snap counts between him and Daniel Bellinger?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't even think Bellinger had any targets.
Yeah, but look, Joe Shane had a fantastic draft, and you're getting key playmakers on both sides of the football, and also the Giants' defense / special teams as well. That it was the fumble recovery touchdown didn't count for the Giants' defense / special teams, and 8 points allowed because it was the offense that gave it up. But how about that play design where they had Isaiah Simmons leap over one of the blockers and block that field goal, which sealed the game. And look, the final score was 29-20, and with a minute left, it was 23-20. But the ebb and flow of this game, that game was not as close as the final score indicated. I thought the Giants dominated Seattle, and they passed the eye test on all three phases, and 7 more sacks for the Giants defense, and the Giants lead the NFL. The Giants with 22 sacks lead the NFL, and it is the 3rd most sacks by a team through their first 5 games in the last 15 years.
Oof!
Wow.
Yes, the Giants. The Giants defensive line. Let's face it, has been one of the best in football so far this season, and if the Giants continue to play this way with the defensive line winning the line of scrimmage with with Daniel Jones not making any big mistakes, so, and the offensive line playing outstanding. Greg Van Rotten was tremendous. Jermaine Ulimanor was excellent as well. So if those things are going to if the level of play keeps up or if they keep improving, the Giants are going to win some games and they're going to be in the dark horse conversation to make the playoffs.
Yeah. My 9-win prediction so far is looking promising.
If they keep up that way, it's gonna. You have tough matchups coming up against Cincinnati and then Philly, and Philly's gonna be getting AJ Brown and Devonta Smith back for the game against Cleveland, but next week before Saquon's return to MetLife. But if those things keep up, the Giants have the coaching to get them to win some competitive games or win games like they did 2 years ago, where they beat Green Bay in the way they did, the Baltimore game the way they did, the Tennessee game the way they did when the Giants were down 13-0, and the way they were able to win that game on opening day a couple years ago. So there is a growing confidence with the New York Football Giants, and you have to be cautiously optimistic about the future because of what Brian Dable and Joe Shane wanted to do. Also, by the way, Natale, how about Deonte Banks? He was tremendous as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So Deonte Banks was bad the first 4 weeks of the season, but if this is the start of his resurgence this season, that's going to be a big lift to Joe Shane's tenure as Giants general manager. So,
also worth noting, Malik Neighbors wasn't in the area either.
You played.
We mentioned that without Neighbors, without Singletary, and they dominated a team that was one of the best in the NFC, and they beat them, and they dominated that game. So, anyway, on to your Cowboys, Timmy.
This one here, the Sunday night game. Let me go ahead and bring this screen down a little bit. This one damn near gave me a heart attack in the last 2 minutes of the game.
Hallelujah! Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Yeah, that was my reaction after the game was delayed an hour and 45 minutes to a thunderstorm. The Cowboys somehow were able to beat the Steelers, and I guess all I can say is Dak Prescott with 352 yards, Rico Dowdle with 87 rushing yards and a touchdown, Jalen Tolbert with 87 receiving yards plus what proved to be the game-winning touchdown. When I saw that, I mean, the first thing that came into my head was Tolbert. Does that sound a little familiar to you? Do y'all remember Owens? Yeah, that's what I was saying. I mean, I actually did have to take an aspirin after that game. Somehow the Cowboys were able to pull off that victory. But I want to ask you guys, this game for the Steelers, was it a bad game or was it a bad sign?
I feel like we dope for picking the Steelers the last 2 weeks, to be honest, because I thought the Tomlin matchup was somehow going to be there because the right quarterback was there, but I just wish that Tomlin officially labeled Justin Fields as the starter going forward. That he does not have that designation, which kind of sucks, and the Steelers feel limited offensively, and I think that's going to be a problem going forward. And And even if Pittsburgh does make the playoffs, do you think the Steelers have what it takes to win a playoff game this year? No.
I can't say no, but then again, I can't say yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I
No,
got to see a little bit more.
Yeah, but also I also want to talk about that final drive because I thought that was one of the best drives Dak Prescott has ever had in his career. That it was a long drive. He methodically wore down the clock, and he made the throws he needed to make, and also more importantly that he fell on that fumble on 2nd and goal, which would have been a disaster. It would have been Stephen A. Smith Baxter waiting to happen. It would have been featured in his future package with the accident waiting to happen soundtrack, but Dak was smartly aware that he watched the ball and they say all the time just follow the football and good things will happen. Well, he followed the football and when the ball came out of his hands, and that was a great play, by the way, by that Pittsburgh defender, which had shades of Gary Reasons, and that hit on the Broncos in '89. But he was able to respond and was patient, and he was so tough and so clutch the way that he was able to win that game, and I was very impressed with Dak on Sunday. And also think this is the start of a difficult 7-game stretch for Dallas with Detroit and San Francisco, Atlanta, Philly, Houston, and Washington. So that is very important so that the Cowboys were able to start the 7-game stretch that could make them break their season to start that off with a win.
Yeah, I actually thought Dak's recovery of that fumble was the play of the game right there.
I said in moment I said the same thing.
Oh, so the Cowboys escaped with a victory there. And finally, the Monday night matchup, Kansas City goes to 5-0 as they defeated New Orleans Saints 26-13. Patrick Mahomes, another 300-yard win, 331 to be exact. Kareem Hunt ran for 102. And what about Juju Smith-Schuster in his return to Kansas City with 130 receiving yards?
I mean, isn't it amazing what playing in the Andy Reid offense can do? So think about what he did with Sammy Watkins. Think about what he did with Tyreek Hill, because Tyreek Hill was already a pretty good receiver, but he and Mahomes took him to another level before he obviously got dealt to Miami. But and also in a game in a week where Rashee Rice was declared out for the season, it was important for him to step up. And also they were finally able to get Travis Kelce involved, 9 catches for 70 yards in that one, and also Kareem Hunt 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. So him filling in for Isaiah Pacheco. So you're thinking at the start of the year, all right, Isaiah Pacheco, Rashee Rice. No, it's Kareem Hunt and Juju Smith-Schuster, who were two rejects by their old teams, and now they're coming back and playing at a high level. And look, it was a one-sided contest. Kansas City had 460 yards of offense. New Orleans only had 220. It wasn't even that close.
Yep.
And Dennis Allen can't coach his way out of a paper bag either. That was an atrocious effort by the New Orleans Saints last night.
Yeah. Looks like we'll just see what happens going forward here. Before we go any forward, we have some comments here and questions here. LC Bustles, hey, LC, Lucas. Can't wait till tomorrow, Tiny Tim. Oh,
Hey, Lucas.
I'm sure he's got something to say about that Sunday night game, since of course he is a huge Steeler fan. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. That's the Pain and Game Pick'em show on A Pistol 90, the YouTube channel there. A Pistol, LC Muscles, and yours truly will be there tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. We have a question here. Jay Smells said, should I trade Metcalf, DK Metcalf for James Conner or Darnell Mooney?
So, well,
I like the fit.
So, well, interesting. I'm actually trying to trade Darnell Mooney in my league, so because I have a surplus of receivers. But look, if I honestly would keep what you have, because I think there's a lot of upside I think the upside is greater with Metcalf, having Metcalf as opposed to holding as opposed to acquiring Darnell Mooney. It's because you're thinking about Bijan and Kyle Pitts and Drake London all on the same team. So maybe his fantasy value and intrigue would go up if Drake London has to miss some time, but.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm personally leaning towards doing the trade, because I believe when I was watching the Giants game yesterday, I believe they said DK Metcalf is the current receiving leader with the most fumbles.
Yeah.
And granted, he's solid when he has a good day, but you don't want all those fumbles on your record there. And yeah, James Conner is a good pass catcher.
And also we talked about Deontay Banks. So Deontay Banks covered DK Metcalf. Well. On Sunday, he was held just 2 catches on 4 targets for 24 yards on 36 routes.
Wow.
So that was an impressive performance by Deontay Banks, and I think it's got to be a weight lifted off the shoulders after having to cover Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb and Terry McLaurin and Justin Jefferson all the first 5 weeks of the season, and for him to have a game like this, it's got to be relieving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so thanks for that question here, Jay. We have another interesting question here. Let me give head to that. Matt Friend. He says, I traded Brandon Ayuk, Chuba Hubbard, and Sam Darnold for Breece Hall. How did I do?
Not well.
No, as we mentioned earlier, covering the Jets, Breece Hall has been kind of a slight disappointment. So I guess we would all say that yeah, you did not do too well on that one, buddy. So actually this is the first time I'm going to be doing this for another viewer. Matt, I hate to do this to you, buddy.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Sorry, bro. Hopefully you'll have a lot better luck this coming week. So he got Breece Hall and kind of went down from there. So don't know what to tell you, buddy. But I'll tell you what we do have to tell you right now. We're going to go into our matchups from last week here. Let me get the right want to get the right screen up here on my screen before I send it off to all of you out there.
Yeah.
Y'all just keep those fancy questions coming, because we just love hearing from you guys. And this thing is loading. All right, let me get this screen here. I had the wrong screen, so let's get to the right one here. Okay, we'll go to scoreboard here. We will look at week 6 in just a few moments.
Yeah.
And let's go to. All right. Come on, work with me, babe. Work with me. Okay. Week 5. Okay, I think I can get this thing here. I get this here. I think if y'all can, should be coming up on the screen here in about a couple of seconds or so. Or at least it should be. Just waiting. Waiting. Oh, good gracious. What I gotta do here? I gotta do to get this thing. Try to get the screen. Okay, we'll stop the share right now. Let's go and get the correct screen up here. Then I will send it to you guys. If this thing.
So Timmy, so while you're waiting for that, can we knock out a couple of hot topics while you're getting that up? Because I think we have a couple of big ones this week.
Yeah, I think we can go to the hot topics right now, and of course the big one, of course, happened earlier this morning. The New York Jets have fired Robert Saleh. Anybody who did not see that coming, raise your hand.
I mean, if you had Robert Saleh on your coaches in the hot seat list, raise your hand.
Yes,
I did on my revised list.
Yeah, yes, your revised list, so you can raise your hand too. But I mean, look, it was long overdue, and Robert Saleh had no idea what he was doing in the game. Couldn't coach straight out of a paper bag. That said that the in-game coaching was abominable. The play design was bad. I think the biggest thing of them all was the lack of accountability within that team. That they would just lose the same old ways over and over and over again. And look, Saleh was like a nice guy, but Robert Saleh was never a general. He's just a lieutenant, a leader of men. So Jeff Ulbrich, the highly touted defensive coordinator, takes over in the interim, and now that puts a lot of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, and it puts a lot of pressure on Joe Douglas, because Joe Douglas might be GMing for his job, and Aaron Rodgers might be playing for 2012 for his job, and for the rest of the season. And it starts with the Monday night clash against the Buffalo Bills.
Okay, so who is that again? Who will be filling in to take control this week?
It's Jeff Ulbrich, the defensive coordinator.
Jeff Ulbrich. So we'll see what happens in that case. Also another big story here. I know I just had it here because I was looking at the messages that we got in the chat earlier today. Getting fired, and we're talking about another big story. The Davanta Adams trade rumors. Talks are getting a little bit hotter here.
Yes,
And
I mean, Davanta Adams didn't play for the Raiders so they lost against Denver because of a hamstring injury, but also he wasn't going to play anyway with him requesting a trade. But the Jets and the Saints are the clear front runners to acquire Davanta Adams, and of course, if he gets traded to the Jets, he would be a night with Aaron Rodgers and Nathaniel Hackett, because of all the time they played together in Green Bay.
yeah, that could happen there.
Yeah.
So we'll just see how that works out right there. Another big story. It looks like it's official. Rashee Rice from the Chiefs has gone on to the IR, and he is out for the rest of the season. So I think, in my opinion, because of this, I believe the X-Man is now going to be the X factor in Kansas City.
Xavier Worthy, and he had a rushing touchdown in last night's game as well. So, so Xavier Worthy. I don't know if he's going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year because of the performances of Jaden Daniels, among others. But yeah, now he's in prime position to put on a strong rookie campaign going forward.
I am definitely feeling more confident of my drafting of Xavier Worthy in our draft of this last month.
Yeah,
I feel more confident about him now.
yeah, yeah. And also a big story that came out is that the Patriots are going to be making a quarterback switch, and they're expected to start Drake May to make his first NFL start coming up on Sunday when they take on the Texans.
Very, very interesting. So it looks like Jacoby Brissett is on the bench now, and Drake May. After a refresh my memory, where did he play?
So he played in North Carolina.
Carolina. So Drake May gets his first start going up against a pretty darn good team. So it's going to be a pretty good challenge for him. We'll see how he does this week. Of course, we have our predictions coming up a little later in the show. And it looks like another defenseman has gone down for the Cowboys from a Sunday night's game. Young rookie Marshawn Nealon. Don't know the extent of the injury. Don't know really how long he'll be out. But, man, with all these injuries the Cowboys are having, I don't know. The next 7 games are going to be crucial. And looking at the Cowboys roster right now with so many injuries, I would say the Cowboys will be successful if they win even 3 out of the next 7 games. 3 out of 7, I'll be very impressed.
Yeah. So I mean, because I think the first one was on Sunday against Pittsburgh. So like 3 out of the next 6. So that would put Dallas. That would put Dallas at 6 and yeah, that would put them at 6-5 going into their Thanksgiving game against the Giants.
Yeah. So we're just kind of struggling along here. We have another question. George Play 01. Hey guys, should I trade Jordan Mason for De'von Achane? My other running backs are Saquon Barkley and Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm 4-1, by the way.
I would say no because Devon Achane. Yeah, because Achane is in concussion protocol and he might not be able to go. And also Miami is on their bye week this week, and who knows if he'll be able to play coming out of the bye week. So I would keep Jordan Mason for now. Jordan Mason's going to be playing the Seattle defense that just gave up 175 yards rushing to the Giants, and it's on a short week.
Yeah, so just stay pat with what you got, George.
And we also have another question here. Would you trade Ramondre Stevenson and either Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, or Wan'Dale Robinson for Breece Hall?
No.
Yeah, but
no, we just talked about Breece Hall, so I guess he may have just joined us, but just mentioning Breece Hall and his problems that he's having. So no.
Yeah. So I think that's a big story. And also Josh Allen, but was in the concussion protocol on Sunday. In the game against the Texans. Yeah, he eventually cleared it, but his status is obviously going to have to be monitored heading into a Monday night game against the Jets. So if you're a Josh Allen fantasy owner, I think you need to have another quarterback ready to go in case it appears that he's not going to play. But do I think Josh Allen's going to play on Monday night? Yeah, but is it going up against one of the best defenses in football and the Jets? Yes, and are the Jets can be fired up after the firing of Robert Saleh? I think so too. So I would try to have another option at quarterback if you are a Josh Allen fantasy owner this week.
Yeah, so that'd be all right there. I don't know if there's any other big time stories that needs our attention right now.
Yeah. Also, the Eagles are going to be getting A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith back from injuries. Both of them are expected to play on Sunday against the Browns, with the Eagles coming off their bye week. So that's going to be a monster lift for Jalen Hurts and the Eagles.
Oh yeah. I remember. We were mentioning about that. Devonta Smith and A.J. Brown back. It looks like that Eagles defense is going to be back, and who knows? Maybe they could contend. Because like we said, the Commanders with Jaden Daniels is looking very good. Cowboys still hanging in there, and of course, the Giants being a dark horse. So, anything can happen.
Yeah. So I think before why don't we do like the league results and then switch to the to the pictures I sent you of the leaderboards in fantasy.
Oh, I got. So my laptop got connected. The laptop got disconnected. So I have to reconnect that one. So I'll be able to put up the results from last week's action in our league here.
Yep, and also we have while we do that, we have Dashi on watching us. Appreciate the Cowboys for beating the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, and now we'll try to do a solid by beating the Giants Sunday night. No offense, Flynn and Natale, but we need this game. Yeah, Cincinnati does need this game after starting 1-4, and the way Cincinnati approached it over time, I thought was the abomination because Cincinnati gets the ball back after that fumble. And what did they do? They ran the ball 3 times and take the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands, who had just thrown for nearly 400 yards in regulation. I mean that was just pure amateur hour by Zach Taylor.
Yeah, definitely. Good, always good seeing you, Dashy. Become a good friend of the show as well as a good friend of the Pen and Game Pick'ems here. All right, let's start with a recap of last week's competition in our fantasy league. Starting with myself here. I took care of Alex Putnam 138.74 to 120.04. I started Justin Fields because he was projected at 20. I got 15.94, which I mean I'm not gonna frown on that much too much. Brian Washington Jr. 13.8. Zay Flowers, he produced more. Xavier Worthy got me 11.8. Jake Ferguson had 14 for me. Chuba Hubbard got me 17. Jets defense special teams got me 14, and Chase McLaughlin got me 16. Meanwhile, Josh Allen only got 16.64. Travis Etienne, 13 even. Jordan Mason kind of underperformed last week. Mike Evans got him 19.2. Javonte Williams at 6.1. And Young Wei Kukachu at 16 even. And checking out the benches, I Garrett Wilson left 27.1 points on the table. And Rodgers underperformed with 11.76. Meanwhile, let's see here. 16-5, 23-4 for Baker Mayfield on Alex's side. Raheem Mostert 11-8. So not much to say right there on that matchup. Let's talk about we're going to talk Andrew and Lucas here. And Lucas took the victory 121.96 to 86.64. Looking at the scoreboards, Josh Allen got LC 15.96. Let's see here. Jordan Mason with 18.3. Mike Evans kind of underperformed a little bit. Jalen Waddle, just 5.6. Let's see here. Big day for he got Javonte Williams at 23.5. Fred Warner at 12 even, and Youngboy. Hold up a second. Something ain't right here. I may have to refresh the screen like I did last time. Remember, Natale?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, I had to refresh this whole thing because it was the wrong teams. Because the wrong teams were showing up.
Yeah.
That's whatever. So let me get this again. I apologize for everyone back home, but when it comes to this show, my laptop only works when it wants to.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get me a better one, but I don't know where, I don't know how. This thing is still buffering, still loading. I just makes me want to pull my hair out, and I ain't got that much anyway. You'd be more lucky to pull the hair off my chin than on my head. It'd be nice to do it because I hate all this gray I got here. Man, I'm 50 years old, but I still feel a little bit young to get all this gray. So come on, load this thing. There was an error loading your page. Well, so
I can probably pull it
well,
up.
I guess while we're waiting on that, I think we have Dashy always likes to remind us of the bye weeks on the Pain and Game Pick'em show. So we'll give our the bye weeks here: Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, buys. Robert Saleh has been fired by the Jets. We've already talked about that. So thanks once again, Dashy bro. So
All right.
okay, now let's get to the scoreboard part.
Yeah.
Going
I have it
back
up if
on
you're
to
having
the
trouble.
5. Okay, and now we're going to talk about. We were going to talk about Andrew and Lucas's matchup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this looks more like it. This looks more and again, the StreamYard on my laptop has been disconnected. Natale, I give up. You're just going to have to take it from here.
All right. I'll rattle it down. Let's see. Yeah, Lucas defeated Andrew 121.96 to 86.64. The big highlight from Lucas was getting 23.5 fantasy points from DJ Moore, who had 5 catches, 105 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Fred Warner was big on the defensive side with 12 tackles, while Harrison Butker had 4 for 5 in field goals, 2 for 2 in the extra points, giving him 13 points. Andrew's big performer was Kareem Hunt, who he acquired on the waiver wire. He had 102 yards and a touchdown. Let's see. The downside was Chris Olave only had 2 catches for 10 yards. And Matt Prater was ruled out at the last minute, so he had no kicker.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
That was
the next matchup. Yeah, we did. Yeah, so yeah, we did yours already. So let's move on to Dino and Casey. Dino won his matchup 139.8 to 107.34. Dino's big performer was Joe Burrow, 33.78 fantasy points. He had 392 yards with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. Probably his best game to date there. 16.4 fantasy points from Josh Jacobs, 73 yards rushing and a touchdown. The downside is Aaron Jones only had 6.3 fantasy points, but he left due to an injury and is questionable for the next game. And also 16 points from Travis Kelce, so a pretty good performance there.
Uh-huh.
And on Casey's side, let's see. His big performer was Trevor Lawrence, 21.24 fantasy points, 371 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. Let's see. Kaimi Fairbairn got 16 points, 3 for 3 in field goals, 2 for 2 in extra points. And his last big performer was Kyron Williams, who had 102 yards, a touchdown, lost a fumble, finished with 15.5 fantasy points. Let's see. Now we'll go to Flynn and David. An absolute blowout here. Flynn won by over 100 points, 165.9 to 63.38. Let's see. Flynn's big performer was Jamar Chase, 10 receptions, 193 yards, and 2 touchdowns, giving him 38.3 fantasy points. Also, Drake London, 12 receptions, 154 yards, and a touchdown. And then to round out the top 3, Ramondre Stevenson, 89 yards and a touchdown. Let's see. David's big performer, his highest scorer was James Cook, 82 yards and a touchdown. But other than that, 4 goose eggs because he didn't set his lineup. So, David, if you're watching, you got to set your lineup, buddy. Make sure he's set up for next week because you're playing me.
Yeah, Dave.
And finally, my matchup. Where is it? Yeah, I defeated Adam 154.52 to 127.64. Let's see. My biggest performers were Lamar Jackson with 348 yards and 4 touchdowns. Brock Bowers, 8 receptions, 97 yards and a touchdown. And then DeAndre Swift, 73 yards and a touchdown. On Adam's side, his top performer was George Kittle, 8 receptions and 64 yards and a touchdown. But now he's questionable for the next game. Roquan Smith with 15 tackles. And then, let's see. Derrick Henry was another of his top performers. 92 yards and a touchdown in that overtime win. He had Derrick Henry, I believe, had a 51-yard run in overtime, which salvaged that. And then his final big performer was Rashid Shaheed, 4 receptions for 86 yards and a touchdown. All right. I guess now we could go to week 6 to check the projections.
Yes.
All right. Yep. And it looks like I'm going to be playing David. I'm currently projected at 134.9, while David is projected at 69. Top performer projection on each side. I have the advantage with Lamar Jackson, and his biggest advantage is CeeDee Lamb. Let's see. Adam is playing Casey, Currently, Adam holds an advantage of 122.8 to 104.3. Adam's biggest projection lies in Brock Purdy. He's starting him this week over Mahomes, 19.2. And let's see, Casey's biggest projected performer will be Brees Hall. We'll see. He's projected at 16.4 fantasy points. Let's see. And then we have Alex is playing Dino. Currently, Dino is projected at 128.7 to 105.4. All right, as I'm reading, yeah, Flynn is saying something. Okay, Flynn is saying, hang on, still trying to reconnect.
Yeah, he's trying to get to his desktop here.
Yeah. Let's see. Dino's biggest projected player is going to be Joe Burrow at 18.8. And on Alex's side, his projected highest projection is going to be Josh Allen at 18.1. So yeah, very close on the quarterback side. And then next game, Flynn is projected to defeat Lucas 150.2 to 113.2. Biggest projected performer on Flynn's side is Jaden Daniels, projected at 24.7. And on Lucas's side, the highest projected performer is Jordan Love for 18 points. And finally, Tim's matchup. Tim, you're playing Andrew this week. You're projected at 112.9 to Andrew's 97.6. But you're going to have to make a change. You have Xavier Worthy starting. He's projected at 0.
Because Xavier Worthy is on bye this week.
Ah, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
Your highest projected performer is Justin Fields with 19.2. And Andrew's highest projected player is Bijan Robinson at 17.8. And then I guess finally looking at the rankings, as it stands right now, I'm projected to finish second. Flynn is projected at 1. Let's see. Tim, you're projected from 10th to 5th, so you moved up 5 spots.
Nice.
From the start of the season, where like the sky was falling and the draft wasn't great, but
yeah, Dino started at 9th. He's moved up to 4th. Adam started at 8th, is now moved back to 10th. Alex started at 7, back to 8. Andrew started at 6, back to 9. Casey started at 5. He's projected at 3rd. I started at 4. I'm projected at 2. Lucas started at 3. Now projected at 6. Flynn started at 2. Now you're moved up to 1. And David started at 1 and moved back to 7. Let's checking out the playoff bracket now. If the playoffs were to start right now, Flynn and Alex would each have buys. Alex right now is second seed with a 2-3 record. I would play Dino, the 3 seed and the 6 seed, and Flynn and Tim would play Lucas. You're each 3 and 2 respectively. I guess Tim owns the tiebreaker, and I own the tiebreaker over Dino. And as far as the regular standings go, let's see. Yeah, we have a 4-way tie for first place in the Beavis division. Alex, Andrew, Casey, and David are all 2 and 3. Oddly enough, our division, we all won.
I was gonna say, because last week there was an 8-way tie at 2 and 2 in the league.
Yeah.
So Natale. So I think next year let's split up. So all the playoff teams and non-playoff teams, and not bump them into 2 divisions, because it's just simply not a fair fight right now.
So you're saying 1 division for all of us? You're saying?
So yeah, I mean, in one of my leagues that's the case. Then the top 2 seeds get by. Yeah, then the top 2 seeds get buys, and then then all of that. But Yeah, and like I was looking on Tuesday while I was doing preparing some material, and I was like, do we really have 8 teams all tied at 2-2 in our league, and I'm 4-0?
Yeah. And I'm checking the other division for comparison. You're 5-0, and then myself, Tim, Lucas, and Dino are all 3-2. I'm statistically the best 3-2 team.
Yeah.
Based off the points.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's basically the preview of the league. Actually, before I go, I actually have a quick trivia question for you guys.
Oh,
before I sign off,
but
I got to go to work in the morning. I thought this one was kind of interesting. Let's see. I found something interesting statistic here. Yeah, Deebo Samuel has scored the most career rushing touchdowns by a wide receiver with 20 touchdowns. So with that being said, my question is going to be, who's tied for second as far as active players go? 2 people have 7. Just give me 1 players.
So you're looking at most rushing touchdowns among wide receivers with 20 or more touchdown receptions.
Oh, here. I'll say it again. Deebo Samuel has scored the most career rushing touchdowns by a wide receiver with 20 touchdowns. So my question is, who is second? So out of all the wide receivers out there, who has the second most rushing touchdowns? Two people have 7.
Jeez. Christ,
wow.
Jeez, that.
Oh, boy.
I mean, we spend so much time on the youngsters in this league that we kind of forget that other people exist.
Yeah,
I'll give you guys a hint. Both of them play in the AFC, and they're both in the same division.
All right. I kind of feel like we talked about one of them tonight. So, but now my question is there another one as well? So I'm gonna make a wild guess.
You are correct. We did talk about him. That is a player. There's a player in there we did talk about.
Okay, so I'm gonna randomly throw out Juju Smith-Schuster and Davanta Adams. That's my guess.
All right. Go ahead.
I'm probably going to say Rashee Rice and it's in the same division. Rashee Rice and Stephon Diggs. That's I'm just throwing something out. I'm just throwing something. So I know I'm wrong.
Nah. Here are your answers: Curtis Samuel and Tyreek Hill.
Oh wow!
Curtis Samuel and Tyreek Hill. Wow.
They each have 7 rushing touchdowns as wide receivers.
Wow.
Yeah, Jerry Rice has 10, as far as all-time list goes. Second all-time is somebody named Lenny Moore. He has 13. But no, he's a running back, so I guess they listed him wrong. Let's see.
Yeah.
Tavon Austin is second with 10 all-time, followed by Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
That was just something interesting I wanted to look up. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, that definitely was a brain buster. I will say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I gotta head to bed. I have to be at work at 4 in the morning.
All right, buddy. Well.
All right. Yeah. Take care.
That means I gotta wake up at like 3 in the morning.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's 6 hours from now.
Yep. So I gotta get some sleep.
All right.
Well, you guys have a good rest of the show, and we'll talk. I guess we'll talk next week sometime.
All right. Take care, bud.
Take care, guys. Bye.
All right.
See you later. As we send Mr. Natale off into the night.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so before we could. Did you show the pictures that I sent you with the fantasy leaderboards for players? Yeah.
Yes, I was just about to see if I can bring those up.
Yeah, and they're all and they're all like the same, but and they're all in the correct order. So you should come up with the quarterbacks.
Okay, where's one of those? Okay, let me call those up here. See if I can get those up. Where's the tab? Where's it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is
Yeah.
it? There it is. I think I got it right now. Go ahead and pop those up here. Starting with the quarterbacks list here.
Yeah.
It should be coming up on the screen. There we go. If I can expand this one a little bit. There we go. There's the list.
Yeah. So
right now, looks like top quarterbacks right now are Lamar Jackson. Jaden Daniels, the top rookie in the class, is number 2, followed by Baker Mayfield, Joe Burrow, Geno Smith. Rounding out the top 10 is Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott, Justin Fields, and Sam Darnold. Now, like I said, this Jaden Daniels kid looks like he is about to be starting to go off anytime soon.
I mean, you can talk about it.
Oh yeah. So okay, what's he got? He's 101 completions out of 131 attempts, 1,135 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He's second 12 sacks though. And he is rostered on 96.9% of fantasy teams. So he is quite a commodity right there. I'm kind of looking at a percentage of rostered players here. Geno Smith at number 5, only on 58% of all fantasy teams. He is 143 out of 99 for 1,466 yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. And looking at 11 through 15, we got C.J. Stroud, Brock Purdy, Kirk Cousins, Daniel Jones, and Patrick Mahomes. And number 14, Daniel Jones. Only rostered on 11.5% of all fantasy leagues.
Yeah, but I mean, the Daniel Jones had a really has had a couple of really nice weeks in the last 3 weeks, and it also helps that he's helping out a lot in the running game.
Yeah, he is definitely there. So maybe brighter days coming for the Giants. Who knows? So we move down to no, that's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. Sorry, folks. Let me get this next one here. Next one here is the running backs. Let's see if I can increase that a little bit. With Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Kyron Williams, and James Cook 1 through 5. Then you got Jordan Mason, Chuba Hubbard, Aaron Jones, Brian Robinson Jr., James Conner at 6 through 10. There we go. I got my 15 there. So 11 through 15, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Carbonet, Brees Hall, Jameer Gibbs, and De'von Achane. Brees Hall
also,
number 13. It looks like he's going to be going down.
Yeah, and also notice that Jordan Mason is ahead of Brees Hall. Now, most of it had to do with that Week 1 game, is where Jordan Mason had like 145 yards against the Jets defense. But See, but I digress on that. Anyway, I'm gonna go to my laptop because I'm here.
Okay, go ahead, make the switch. And while he does that, we will move on to the wide receivers. And 1 through 5 looks like this: Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors, and Jaden Reed. While going 6 through 10, Chris Godwin, Drake London, Stephon Diggs, Brian Thomas Jr., and Mike Evans. 11 through 15 is DK Metcalf, Juwan Jennings, CD Lamb, DJ Moore, and Darnell Mooney. And let's see if we can get no, let me get back here. He frozen all come in, so frozen, so still trying to make the switch over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Just put up the wide receivers list right here. Let's see, Malik Neighbors for your Giants, ranked number 4.
Yeah, and also, but 22.9 points per game is still the best among all of them because he did not play last week. Everyone else on this list has played 5 games.
Wow. Very impressive right there. Looking at ownership percentage, it looks like Darnell Mooney is right now only at 58.6% owned in fantasy leagues, but it looks like he may be warming up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Juwan Jennings, who had that big game against the Rams 2 weeks ago, I think that's what got him on the list. So,
Oh yeah, definitely. And CD Lamb is kind of down to number 13.
yeah,
He
so, yeah,
came
but
down.
I mean, he has come down a little bit, but also if you notice, Brian Thomas Jr., Marvin, and Malik Neighbors, the top 2 wide receivers so far, both were played at LSU last year.
Oh yeah, so give it up for those Tigers. All you LSU fans got to be very proud of those boys right there. I guess next list is our tight ends. And you have the young Brock Bowers, we mentioned before. It's having a pretty good season. George Kittle, Tucker Kraft, Dallas Goddard, Isaiah Likely, 1 through 5. 6 through 10, Cole Kmet, Pat Frymouth, Travis Kelce, Jake Ferguson, and Trey McBride. 11 through 15 has Kyle Pitts, Dalton Kincaid, Brenton Strange, Kobe Parkinson, and Tyler Conklin.
Yeah, Brenton Strange has filled in very nicely for Evan Ingram at Jacksonville, but there is the possibility that Evan Ingram is going to be coming back with Jacksonville ahead of their game and ahead of their 2 games in London the next 2 weeks against the Bears and the Patriots. So it looks like good news for him.
Yeah, it looks like good news for him. That Brock Bowers, he's very good. He's rostered on 95% of all fantasy leagues.
Hmm.
And points per game, about 13.3.
Yeah, and also, how about Isaiah Likely only rostered in 56.9% of leagues, and Cole Kmet only 65%.
Couple of sleepers there, I would think.
I would tend to agree with that.
And now looking at the defense and special teams, top 15 for fantasy leagues. You mentioned the Vikings with that awesome defense. Got the Packers at number 2, Denver 3, Chicago 4, San Francisco 5. Then going 6 to 10, you got Pittsburgh. Got the Jets and the Giants back to back, 7 and 8 respectively. Again, you got the Saints and Seahawks.
And look at how many people own the Giants defense.
I got a highlight there right there.
2.2%.
2.2%.
Yeah. I mean, but I think a lot of it has to do with the Giants and their 22 sacks. At every point, every sack equals a point.
Right. And looking at yeah, I do not see the Cowboys there. They're out of the top 15. They just very, very banged up right now. And so 49ers defense at number 5 is 61.3 ownership for the Bears and 33.9 ownership for Green Bay. And looking at the kickers, number 1, once again, Brandon Aubrey from the Cowboys. Then they got Kaimi Fairbairn for Houston, Youngwei Koo, Jake Moody, and Chris Boswell. 6 through 10, Chase McLaughlin, Austin Siebert, Harrison Butker, Will Lutz, and Will Richard. 11 through 15 is Evan McPherson, Braden Narvinson, Cam Little, Blake Grupe, and Tyler Bass.
I mean, and also if you notice, no Justin Tucker and Harrison Butker is only number 8 on the list.
Justin Tucker, what has happened to him?
Yeah, I mean he's not making. I mean he's not making those 55 plus yard field goals anymore.
No, because Brandon Aubrey is now.
I mean, so are so many other kickers like Kaimi Fairbairn.
Kaimi Fairbairn and Youngwei Kukukachu. I'm the Walrus. Let's see here. We got we have Derek Jackson here with a question here. Who says 10 team full PPR trade 2W3L 2 win 3 loss record. He's got 8 seeds. He's got 8 teams. Top 6 make the playoffs. I have Jettas.
Justin Jefferson.
It looks like he's want to say Chuba Hubbard.
Yep.
And Devon Achane. Getting Bijan Robinson, Deebo Samuel, Travis Etienne, AR-15, Amari Cooper. He's giving A.J. Brown, Puka Nacua, Ramondre Stevenson, and Zach Moss.
I mean, I tend to like this trade if you're getting Bijan Robinson and Deebo Samuel, but I think the downside is Travis Etienne because you don't know what. I mean, his fantasy value has toiled over the last couple of weeks because of his inability to protect the football and Tank Bixby just coming off a 100-yard performance.
Yeah, so yeah, it's good side, bad side. Puka Nacua, he's still out for a while. AJ Brown's coming back. Ramondre Stevenson is a fairly decent player. Zach Moss, I think he's all right. You probably have to compare each one side by side to see if you can try to figure out the better deal here, because difficult for me to say, but I'd say you're okay with what you got. I'd say you're okay with what you got, but I digress. But we do appreciate the question. We do appreciate you watching. Spread the word. Tell your friends about our show. If they got any questions, they can ask them to us.
Yep. It's so I think now that we have everything out of the way, so you want to do our picks right now?
Actually, I did have a trivia question.
All right.
Okay. My trivia question for this week might be an easy one, But you're pretty good so far. So I'll ask this question. As you know, Aaron Rodgers became the first quarterback, or no, he became the ninth quarterback in NFL history to pass for over 60,000 yards. So my question this week is simple. Who was the first?
Um. All right. Let's see. I think was it Danny Marino? Is he the first one?
I knew this was going to be too easy. It was Marino.
Yeah.
It was Marino.
All right.
Uh,
All right.
and if I could get my screen to cooperate with me, we got the list here. Yeah, it mentions the 9 quarterbacks who have accomplished this. Dan Marino finished with 61,361. Brett Favre was the second with 70. He's finished with 71,838. Peyton Manning because the third one, going on to pass for 71,940. Tom Brady finished at 89,214, which is the all-time record right now. Drew Brees, he finished his career with 80,358. Philip Rivers, 63,440 for his career. Ben Roethlisberger, 64,088. Aaron Rodgers at 60,148, and Matt Ryan at 62,792. So that's pretty much the list right there. So I guess with that, let me find the metric. Did I know I brought that in here. Did I? Here we go. Let me pop that in. And then we'll go ahead, get back here, share screen, get that. And we can go ahead and show our picks. And I think we have it. Okay, it should be coming up right now. As I said, it should be coming up right now. There we go. We bring it up a little bit. Yeah, we bring it up a little bit. So, going back to last week, straight up winners. Natale and I finished with 10-4. Flynn finished at 8-6. So it means right now against the spread, Natale and I are tied at 9-5. Flynn 7-7 for the season. Oh, I gotta switch it back here because guys be able to see everything here. So for the season, I'm at 47-31 straight up. Natale's at 48-30. Flynn 44-34. And against the spread, Natale has the lead with 41-35-2. I'm behind second place with 39-37-2. And Flynn with 34-41-2. So that's how things look right there. I could bring the spec up a little bit there. And before we go into our picks, just a reminder, 4 teams on the bye this week: the Kansas City Chiefs, Los Angeles Rams, the Miami Dolphins, and the Minnesota Vikings. So if any of you have anyone playing for the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, or Vikings, please, whatever you do, either bench them, or if you have to, drop them. They ain't going to do you no good this week. As we start with the Thursday night game in Seattle, big rivalry in the AFC West. San Francisco traveling to Seattle. San Francisco's picked by 3.5. And it looks like we are all unanimous with picking the 49ers to win. I see, Flynn, that you have 49ers with the win, but the Seahawks with points.
Yeah, I just think San Francisco's a little too banged up right now, so I think that's why I'm gonna grab the points here, and also to guard against a potential game-winning field goal situation, where that would be spread proof.
Aha. Then we go into the Sunday games. The second London game. Basically, well, Jacksonville Jaguars, they pretty much call London their second home anyway. They'll be playing against the Chicago Bears. The Bears are picked by 2.5. And we are all unanimous in both the Bears to win and cover. So really not much to say on that one. Then we have the Washington Commanders against the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are picked by 6.5. Everyone's going with the Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens, and Natale is taking over. And it looks like you're taking the Ravens, and you're taking the Commanders with the points. I could probably see that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But Jaden Daniels going up against that terrible Baltimore secondary. I mean, the Baltimore secondary has been atrocious this season.
Yeah, interesting. But that Jaden Daniels, he's looking pretty good. So I got a good feeling that he'll probably keep it close. Right? Wait a minute. Was there 23? I got Ravens. Hold on a second. Flynn, I think either you made a mistake or I did, because I had Baltimore winning, but I also had the Commanders covering. My final score was 27-23. If you can check your when I sent you my picks earlier today.
Hang on one second.
Okay. We might have a little slight mistake here, ladies and gentlemen, but that's going to be okay. He put my final score as 30-20. But I actually had 27-23. I had Washington winning, and no, I had Baltimore winning and Washington covering as well.
Yes, you did have 27-23.
Okay, so disregard the score that I've got on this screen here. I'm going 27-23. Baltimore with the win, Washington with the points. And it looks like we are all in agreement that Green Bay is going to take care of the Arizona Cardinals. That game is in Green Bay. Green Bay is picked by 5. I am taking Green Bay straight up, but you and Natale are taking Green Bay with the win and Arizona with the points.
Yeah, I mean, Arizona, can't sleep on them right now.
Oh, they're starting to look pretty good, as well as the Houston Texans here. Texans are traveling to New England to take on the Patriots at the Big Razor Blade Gillette Stadium. Houston picked by 7. We are all taking Houston for this one, and you've got
No.
oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Hold up a second. Is this what I think it is?
Yes. Upset special. I think Drake May shows what he's capable of, and I think this is going to be a classic trap game. Texans coming off a great win against Buffalo, while the Patriots coming off a bad loss. So I think it's gonna be like an any given Sunday type of deal. So I think the Patriots are gonna win this game outright.
Interesting. So it looks like the Patriots is Flynn's upset of the week, while Natale and myself are taking the Texans to win and cover in this one. Tampa Bay and New Orleans. Tampa Bay is picked by 3.5 here. Flynn's taking Tampa Bay straight up. While Natale and myself, I know this is one for me. I am feeling so confident so far this year for Alvin Kamara. I mean, the way he just tore through the Cowboys defense a couple of weeks ago and how he's been running through the defense here. Of course, Derek Carr's out indefinitely, so he may have to give most of the load to Kamara. But if anyone can do it, I think he can. I've got the Saints beating the Buccaneers 28-23. Natale has 28-24, almost an exact match of my score. But of course, he's got Tampa Bay on this one. Philadelphia at home against Cleveland. Philadelphia is 8.5-point favorites. We're all picking the Eagles to win and cover, although the Eagles are not my lock of the week. That's coming up a little bit later.
But it is for me.
Oh, so you're going to lock up the Eagles.
Those chickens.
Very, very nice. Those filthy Philadelphia chickens. Okay. Next game on the list here, we have the Indianapolis Colts and the Tennessee Titans. I don't know what this game is for you, but for me, it's this game. Yeah, I see a very low scoring game here. We're all picking the Colts to win this one, even though I've got a low score in this one, 17-13. Flynn's got 28-25. Natale's got 24-21. Just depends on how good Anthony Richardson can play this one. We'll just see what happens here, but that'll be all right. Next game was this Chargers and Broncos over at Empower Field at Mile High. Chargers going to Denver as 3-point favorites. I am taking the Chargers 24-17. However, looks like you and Natalia are taking the Broncos at home.
Yeah, I just think the Chargers are still banged up on the offensive line. I think and I think the vibes are pretty good right now in Denver.
Go ahead and take a better look at those Broncos. Maybe if anything like last week happens, take a better look at those. And we have the Pittsburgh Steelers heading into Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Pittsburgh is 3-point favorites. Steelers are going to come into this game mad as hell after what happened Sunday night. But I see no problem with them. And it looks like we're all picking the Steelers to win and cover on that one. Then you got Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta is going into Charlotte as the 6-point favorites in this one. We are all in agreement that the Falcons are going to win and cover. And the Falcons are my lock of the week. So I guess not much more to say right there. Detroit and Dallas. The next game on this very tough schedule for the Cowboys. Detroit coming in at 3-point favorites. I'm taking the Cowboys straight up, 23-20. But it looks like you and Natale are both taking the Lions, even though Natale is taking the 29, 27. He's taking the Lions to win. You're taking the Lions to win as well. So I can probably see why, because Detroit has been dangerous over the last couple of seasons. I mean, I can see that, but once again, I see another game saved by Brandon Aubrey. Call me crazy. Next one, the Sunday night game. Cincinnati Bengals at New York Giants. Cincinnati's coming in at 3.5-point favorites. Looks like all of us are taking the Bengals to win. I'm taking Bengals to win straight up, while you and Natale pick the Bengals with the win and the Giants with the points. But with everything that you've said, about the Giants so far, I could see that.
Yeah, I mean, this was the single toughest game of the week to pick when it comes to the spreads because I know it's Joe Burrow, but and I also know Daniel Jones' stats in prime time, but I feel like the Giants are closer to where they want to be now than where they were at this time last year. And that is despite not having Saquon Barkley and Xavier McKinney.
Right. And finally, we have the Monday night game. It's the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets over at MetLife Stadium. Buffalo comes in at 2-point favorites. I got the Buffalo Bills winning and covering 24-13. Natale has Buffalo winning and covering 20-24. But you're actually going with the Jets 19-16. You probably think that those Jets defense will probably get to Josh Allen, maybe.
Yeah, and I also think that the focus will be on football now that Robert Saleh is out of a job. It's usually that the first game after a coach gets fired that a team comes out strong and aggressive and just wants to win for the new coach.
Yeah. Oh, so. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, just. Some.
Bless you.
Yeah, some people. I'm saying I chew. Some people think I'm probably saying Minshew, as in Gardner Minshew.
Minshew.
Minshew. Minshew. Hey, but don't underrate Minshew mania. I mean, our man Alex Putnam can tell you that. So Dashy's got his picks. Dashy says 49ers, Bears not by lock. Commander is upset of the week for him. Oh, going with Commanders for the upset against the Ravens. Oh, bold move. Packers, going Packers. Texans, not my lock, but not even close. He's got Tampa Bay, Philadelphia. He's locking the Eagles. Colts winning. This was his coin flip. Broncos, first time picking Broncos this season. He's got the Steelers winning 35-28. Falcons win, but Panthers going to make them work for it. Dallas wins this one. Go home team when in doubt. Bengals win. That's his Bengals. This is garbage game. And or tank bowl game. And he's going with the Bills on Monday night. So very interesting picks there, Dashy. I can't wait for you. Can't wait to get the reactions from Alex and Ilse and Lucas tomorrow night on the Fan and Game Pick'ems show. So that's going to be very interesting there. So So I guess with that being said, we're going to put this baby to rest here pretty soon. But before we
Yes.
go, just another friendly reminder. Listen to Hook on Sport with John Flynn. It's on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, TuneIn, and all and many podcast platforms. You can listen to it right there. As he mentioned as he mentioned earlier, his latest edition is up right now. So you'll be able to go ahead and listen to that. So that means that your NFL edition will be coming up in about a day or so.
Yep. So we do have one more question before we go. That do you trade C.J. Stroud and Rashad White for Bijan Robinson? He's in a league with six where passing touchdowns are worth 6 points, and Brock Purdy is he still has Brock Purdy. I mean, I would.
Oh, you're frozen up a little bit when you gave your reply. What were you saying?
So I would go for it. This trade.
Should shower side wife or beat John Robertson? Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. Gotta give love to Big John Robinson, my boy from Texas. So
Hmm.
yeah, that sounds like an okay deal here.
Yes.
Okay, 6 touchdowns, still have Brock Purdy. So yeah. So thanks for watching, Chandler. Tell all your friends about us, and with that, we'll wrap up the show. Y'all be sure to check out his latest episode of Hooked on Sports. He just released it today. NFL edition's coming out in about a day or so. And
Hmm.
don't forget Kansas City, Los Angeles Chargers, Miami Dolphins, Minnesota Vikings. Those teams are on the bye. Get rested up. So drop them or bench them if you have to, because they ain't going to do you no good this week. So thanks for hanging with me there, Flynn.
Yes.
And,
Thanks for doing this, Timmy.
and thanks to our buddy John Natale. He has to go to work a little bit early, so we'll let him get his rest. He'll be with us next week. Flynn will be here next week. Sure, I will be here next week, and I hope all of you be here next week. Don't forget the Pen and Game Pick'em show on A Pizzle 90 channel here on YouTube. Tomorrow night, 10 Eastern, 9 Central. We will be back here 7 nights from now at our time of 10:45 Eastern, 9:45 Central. So I guess with that, we will bring this show to a close. For John Flynn and for John Natale, my name is Tim McClelland. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy the games. God bless you all. And as always, be a good sport. See ya.